Hello and welcome to Indiana Arts Desk. I'm Marcus Jackman. Thanks for tuning in. Coming up this evening, Horses in Top Coats, art of Ken Hoffman at Arts Place, and the Arts Calendar. But first,
I think every artist is always excited about discovery. I mean, I'm very excited about what I can learn, not only about myself, but about the world and the world that surrounds me, and people and nature. And it's a fascinating way to live your life.
That's David Hochoy, Artistic Director of Dance Kaleidoscope of Indianapolis. That troupe is performing Sche at Richmond Civic Hall on Saturday night. Hochoy has been with Kaleidoscope for 14 years, and he's choreographed countless productions, he says, including Sche.
It's really interesting for me to go back and look at some works that I choreographed years ago, and I think, well, I don't think I could do that now.
You don't think you could, or you would?
I don't think I could. I'm in a different place. I feel differently about myself. I feel differently about the world. I feel so differently about everything. I mean, that was a true expression of who I was at that point, but I think it's very different now.
But while other artists may use oils or sounds, editing and re-editing, painting, scraping, and repainting until things are just right, just the way they want them, Hochoy says choreography is different, like directing theater, because it's determined by, enhanced by, and limited by the personalities and gifts of the dancers involved.
I would say choreography is an incredible kind of alchemy, where you're mixing your thoughts, your feelings about the material that it is that you want to get out, the abilities and the qualities of the dancers that you're working with, their ideas at that point, and actually who you have in time in the studio. I always say that pieces when they're created are very specifically created for those people at the exact instant, for those dancers, for those wonderful personalities and spirits that are in the room. If there was one person that was different, it would be different, because it's a different group of people. So that's what's interesting about it. It really is like you are capturing a moment in time and preserving it.
That's interesting, because I think, well, if I were asked to consider the issue carefully, I would probably say, of course, yes, if a dancer were transposed, that it would affect, that it would change the alchemy and change the balances and the strengths and the passions and change those things. But I think that by and large, lay people who are not as daily cognizant of dance, say as an artistic director, people like me that don't think about it as much, see dance much more generically. It is for us, not being aware of the nuances and not being educated in it, or at least not considering it very frequently. They're just bodies moving around on the stage. Does that make sense? I'm not trying to denigrate it at all.
Yeah. In some ways, they are just bodies, but they are very specific bodies. They are those bodies that are moving around in that space when you're looking at them at that specific time. I mean, and I think if they were different bodies, they would affect you differently. That's why live performances are so magical in a strange way. I mean, it's something that happens between you and the performer, you with the audience and the performer, that can't be really duplicated, and it can't be put down on tape or anything else. That's why there's nothing quite like a live performance.
Scheherazade is a dance based on the music of Nikolai Rimsky-Korsakov, says Hochoy, and the story of the title character is framed by the story of a little girl who discovers a book on the 1001 Arabian Nights.
And the piece ends right where we started, with a little girl, and Scheherazade gives her a jewel at the end that she's been wearing, and the little girl holds it up to the light. And really the jewel means that she has been given the gift of the imagination, the power to dream, and that's the way the piece ends. It's actually a very moving piece.
David Hochoy gives a pre-show talk at 7 o'clock at Richmond Civic Hall. Scheherazade begins at 8 o'clock. For tickets and information, call 888-248-4242. That's 888-248-4242, or visit civichall.com.